All right, everybody, how you doing? Dan Higgins here from AstroWorld with really late at night Tim Cowell, and it's 9:05. I'm sorry, we're about 5 minutes late. I'm hoping that everything, and I forgot to hit the record button, but there we go. We just hit the record button, and we're ready to go here. And this is our fourth, I think, right? Our
I,
fourth episode.
I think so. Yeah. I think in the build up you said episode 3, and I thought, oh my god, have I been in my own dream world or something? But yeah, it could be. It's 2, 3, or 4.
And I think we're getting an echo again. Whenever we go live, we get an echo. Just let's see what we
Oh
got going.
yeah, sure. But it's. Do you know what? Yeah, again, it's everything's working fine for me. So can I just sit back?
Yeah, no. It's been fine for you. I mean, we're gonna go on as long as everything is good and we get no complaints. Remember, I think I just want to make sure Facebook is on here, and because sometimes it takes a couple seconds for it to hit Facebook. Daniel. And let's see one more second. Let's make sure it's working. Which Facebook page are you going to broadcast on? Both, I believe. Yep, I'm. No, it's not on yet. So make sure. Oh yeah. It looks like everything is online. I gotta look around my. I gotta look around my camera because my camera's in the way of my bottom toolbar here. And sorry guys, just taking a little bit longer to get started. I do apologize. And yes, we are live on Facebook now. And let me just share this stuff real quick. And Tim, why don't you give a talk about what we're going to talk a little bit about tonight? Make sure people can hear you and all that stuff.
Absolutely fine. Are we all nailed down on our echo now? Is it me? Am I the cause of it?
The echo?
Yeah.
I believe so. We'll wait for some people. We'll wait for some people to yell at us.
Yeah, we go right ahead. So yeah, week four. So we're diving straight in. We've looked at some of the other components of the things that Dan and I think we need. We don't know. We're not sure. It's evolving for our telescope rigs. But on week 4, we're looking at cameras, the imaging part of it, the fun bit for me. Don't know about for you. Looking through the eyepiece became more and more troublesome. Glasses didn't help, and misty eyesight certainly didn't help. So as soon as I put a camera to a telescope and then saw that picture on a screen, was able to then show that screen to my friends. I say friends to people that I accost in the street and at work, and show these things to. And obviously you can print them off and share with your family. So it became something, imaging over the real world for me. So on week 4, fourth most important component, I don't know, maybe it is the most important, they're all important, is the camera. Dan and I thought, what was our first camera? And Dan had to actually delve back in time, so I'm going to throw it back, bat it back at Dan, because I had to delve back in time, and I've written my first camera down. But Dan, back to you, your first imaging camera, and also what led you to want to stick a camera on a telescope in the first place.
Well, I'm thinking about it, and I think my first actual camera that probably made me stop doing astro imaging was a 35 millimeter Minolta Maxim, if I
What
remember right.
with film?
Yeah, actual film. Yeah, you gotta.
Wow.
Well, yeah. So I took a couple of shots of the moon,
Okay, right.
and I figured, hey, that's the easiest thing to do. You look through the eyepiece, and you
Agree.
know, my
Agree.
eyes are a lot. We're a lot younger back then than they are now.
Mm.
so
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
figured everything was good. So unfortunately, you don't have that instant gratification that you have now with
Mm.
CMOS/CCD, digital cameras, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Call them digital because, well, call them what you like, Dan. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah. There'll be another type before too long, I'm sure. But
Sorry about that. That's me.
you all right, Dan?
There we go. It's done. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, cool.
No. I was just trying.
So you
got the
started
Facebook
with
thing going
film.
on.
That's incredible. I mean, it'd be interesting to see in the comments if anybody else actually had started with physical film in a
Yeah, I
camera.
mean, there was really nothing to see,
That's incredible.
because
So how did that work out?
it didn't.
Right. Well, at all.
No, it really turned me off, and
Oh,
I,
damn
I, I,
it.
I think I'm getting feedback from the TV. Hold on one second.
He's watching the TV as well.
I had to close the door. Sorry.
Oh, you're not
Um,
watching it. Oh, okay.
Not the TV from my wife in the living room. She's.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, right. Oh,
But
God. Oh, God.
so I took a bunch of pictures. I spent hours
Sorry.
and whatever.
Uh,
And I took the camera, I rolled it up, dumped it in the thing. There was no CVS's or anything. There was nothing like that. So you had to
right.
go to the photo mat or the camera click, that little photo hut, and you drop the thing in. You got to wait a week.
Right. I was going to say things were more advanced
Yeah,
in America, but you still had to wait a week,
oh
right?
yeah, a week, 10 days,
Oh.
something like that. Yeah, it was horrible.
Ooh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I get it back, and I get just this big round blob of unfocused garbage.
That's a shame. So
And
could you see how on the camera itself, on the Minolta, how were you? I assume you got an eyepiece projection, or did you got a T mount by then?
I did have a T mount, and I had the it's basically the same. Nothing's changed in the past 30 years as far as adapters for the cameras. The only thing that's changed really probably is the bayonet, I guess, on different
I see.
models. But
I see.
overall, nothing like that changed. You got the T mount, and then the camera adapter, and then you slide it in the telescope. So, I got my
Okay.
telescope, and I'm cranking my neck like this, trying to get underneath and looking through the viewfinder because there was no live view.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, of course. No,
So
no luxuries, no live view, no laptop hookup,
no,
no,
no
no,
laptop,
nothing
no
at all. So
nothing.
could you even tell you were in focus?
No. I mean, I eyeball. You can only eyeball it.
Right, got you.
You,
Got you,
you know,
got
there
you.
was no autofocus. There's no FWHM, PhD, FHD. There's none of that
PhD,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a big,
Yeah, BUMMER.
big GTH.
Yeah, 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 isn't it?
But it's just you just had to guess, and a lot of
Right.
people had a lot of success at film,
Yeah,
and doing astrophotography with film. I was not one of those people. My camera got stuck to taking shots of people, birds,
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
stuff that I could see and whatever. But
It never occurred to me. I'd always lived under the illusion, and it is an illusion, that I couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
even when I finally got a telescope, I still harbored under the illusion that I couldn't do it. And it was only when the first smartphone came along. I had a company phone with a phone cam, and the phone cam was all right. And it just occurred to me to go, oh, it's like the caveman
Yeah, right.
moment that so many of us had. But that moment was awfully tricky. That moment of offering the phone to the
Yeah.
eyepiece
You
was,
like this?
yeah, a lot of that, an awful lot of that. It's much. It was much harder, but it was those first pictures and that breakthrough that I could do it, and then I showed it to I was going to say friends again, then to a captive audience at work of people that couldn't get away. Um,
Oh, we lost him. Huh. Okay. Not sure what happened to Tim there. Hopefully he comes back. I'm gonna have to make sure he comes back. So in the meantime, um, okay, you know the wonders of modern technology here. So in the meantime, we got Mark Ellis, who said that he started with a Pentax K1000, and I actually had a Pentax K. I didn't use it. I attempted to use it, and unfortunately, um, you know, I did not have much success with 35 millimeter film, and it wasn't long. It wasn't a long wait to get to the digital age, and I had like an HP digital camera at one point. And my first CCD camera, and I don't even think they make cameras anymore. But it was the what was it? The SAC 7B, and spent like $400 on this camera probably in 1991. And I gotta text Tim real quick and find out where he is. Um, oh, sorry, Mark. I sent that to you. So ignore that, Mark. Um, sorry, guys. A little dead air. Um, so yeah, I got like a point and shoot, and then I got the SAC 7B. The SAC 7B, um, still not at the technology friendly age right at this point. And then I got my first Canon Rebel XSI, I think it was, and that was my first when I really started getting into digital cameras and started doing astrophotography. And by the way, okay, I won't let him in. Okay, I'm gonna try and get him in again. And hi Kelly, hi Ochoa, John, Stella, Rich, Rob, how you doing? Eswin, what's happening, guys? Two. And it may just take me a second to get him back in. I do apologize about this. We'll get all this out with the YouTube recast. So right now we're actually trying something new. I believe we're working on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook all at once. So let's see what we got here. Come on, Timmy, let's get back. It's my wingman. And my apologies, guys. Tim dropped out, and he's trying to get back in. So give me a second. There we go. Add Tim for the rendezvous. There we go, Tim. Just give me 1 second. I got Tim back here. I don't know what happened, but he's back. And I'm going to edge in here real quick. Guys, give me 1 more second. And Tim's got the coffee, a new cup. I'm working on it. Clear all, then Tim. I don't know what happened. It's a wonderful. There you go. So it's a local phenomenon. All right, and you're back. All right,
Yeah.
so we're back. So
In fact, I can remember where we were as well.
well,
And I can bat it back over. So my first camera was the mobile phone cam back to Dan.
oh, really? That's let's see. So I started originally talking about the
Minolta.
we went past that. We forgot about that. The Sax 7B.
What? That's a motorbike, isn't it? German motorbike.
I don't know. Mark Ellis says, "Welcome back."
Hey, Mark.
So yeah, so it was a little dinky camera. The chip was probably no bigger than probably this little receiver thing, but probably smaller.
That big.
Than that.
That cufflink.
I don't even. This is actually the Logitech receiver for a mouse.
Oh, I see.
But whatever the case may be, it's smaller than that. I mean, you're talking a couple of millimeters. I mean, maybe
SMO.
8 megapixel, maybe 4.
Oh, right, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot, but it was not. I mean, the pixels were so big. I think it was, if I remember right.
Were they big or were they small?
Yeah, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been so long. Yeah.
And was it a CCD? Was it right, CCD?
Yeah, it was. There was no CMOS yet.
Gotcha.
So that didn't last very long with that because I could never get it in focus. So I had a bunch of, I guess, focusing trial and error. I'm sure as we all did.
And was this planetary moon? No hint of DSO yet.
I actually tried to get my first M42 with that, and that failed miserably.
Advanced stuff. So what had you got under your belt, but with the Sax? Then had you now got a crisp moon?
Actually, I'm putting together my Mac, my 127 Mac. It's not gonna fit the whole moon, I don't think, because I think the focal length is a little too long for it. But maybe if I use a reducer, I'm not sure yet. We'll figure some out. But I'm going to be using that on an AZ GTI to do planetary.
Right, okay.
So I just got that all set up. I got the PC stick, for those of you guys that have been watching me. Got the PC stick. I got some power stuff to. I'm going back and forth whether I should put a Pegasus power box on it. Whatever, but
neat and tidy. We like that.
Not sure what I'm doing yet because it's supposed to be my go-to kind of travel scope, but sure. But and then after the Sax 7B, I think that's when digital DSLR cameras started becoming a little bit more mainstream.
I was going to say, did you have own in the family by then? Because you're a photographer too, much more than I am.
Oh, I don't do any people photography really.
Right, because I don't really do any of that. I bought when I finally got a DSLR. I bought it purely for Astro, even though it's not even modified yet. Things escalated rather quickly after that first. That bit from 2001, I told you know what, I don't even know what that music is. It's the perfect music, the music from 2001 Odyssey when the apes become hyper intelligent and have their breakthrough. Right. Yeah, that was me with the phone cam. So things escalated rather quickly. I made a lot of. So you didn't have a DSLR, but you bought a dedicated Astro cam. I did the same thing. I bought the Celestron Neximage 5. Did you ever have one of those?
No, I played with it. For those of you guys that know me, I do work really, really part-time at Camera Concepts. in New York, which is a telescope distributor out on the East Coast
What
in
a
the United
job!
States.
What a
You know
job.
what? I love it because you know what? I do it 1 day a week. I have my other regular day. I got my 5 day a week work job, and I 1 day a week while my wife's still at work, I go play with telescopes and I get
Play
paid
with
for
the
it.
toys.
Yeah, and I get
Yeah.
the best and the greatest,
Mm.
and I get to take stuff home and test it and stuff like that and whatever. So it's like a one hand washes the other type thing. Did we lose you again? Tim, we lost you again. Tim's having internet issues, it looks like. What is going on tonight? You there? Oh. I'm gonna get you back on here and cancel that. And that was actually easy. I know how to get to you. There you go. You're back on.
Oh,
That's all right. Sorry.
oh dear. Caught me in drinking Somerset water.
It's Diet Coke.
Oh, fair enough. This is Somerset water made from fermented apples.
And that's all we'll say about that.
Oh, it's good. At this time,
Hey,
2:30, it's good. It's good.
yeah,
It's all good.
it's late in the UK, man. I'm telling you.
I tell you what, I'm dropping off, but not nodding off. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Dan. I don't know, more technical, but yeah, next image 5. So we both played with that tiny little sensor again. So happiness, got the moon, got the planet Jupiter,
Sure.
got the red spot,
Sure.
got the rings of Saturn. Didn't try the further planets. All the bright stuff. Magnificent, moon magnificent, tiny little sensor, tiny weeny little sensor, and
Yep.
wasn't it just a rebadged Philips, because we had to use the drivers for a Philips to UCAM, I think, or
Two cam or two can Sam or whatever it is. Two
mm,
cam two. That was for a long, long time, from what I remember, was the go-to as far as planetary cameras are
that
concerned.
was the cam, wasn't it? And that
Yeah.
they were the second-hand market was big, and then all of a sudden, overnight, like so many things, like the dinosaurs, all of a sudden, I don't know. Do you know what flattened it? So what killed the two cam cam?
I think just technology got better, and the competition got a lot crazier,
Mm.
and I just thought there's only so much that Phillips decided how far they wanted to go with it and what the return on investment would be. That's the only thing I could really think of. And I'm gonna take a look at something because I'm only seeing like 3 or 4 or 5 people on there, but everything is shared correctly, I think.
Sure, sure. So I then, after the next image, I then grabbed for something called an Attic Infinity.
Sure.
Now,
Yeah. That's that little square camera, right?
that's the little square camera, which was
I'm
the
sorry, rectangle.
yes, the rectangle square. Yeah, precisely. It's the rectangular square, which is what makes it so
And it's
so
red.
easy to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. The red rectangular square.
We love
Brilliant
these red
marketing.
things.
Do you know what it was very nice. It was a very nice red, pretty box, and that's what got me started. I think Attic stole a march on things, and then also missed out a little bit. But we'll get to that, or maybe not get to it. But the Attic Infinity was what convinced me that I could do it. Because the marketing said that you just plugged it in and it would do it all for you, and that's what I
Yeah.
needed. or had an Altaz at the time. I'm Altazing, and but you're all very much up the stairs,
The ladder.
and I'm shifting. Careful with that. Yeah, they've got a case of the shifts, and I'm flopping. So I'm in SCT world on a fork mount, and which was marvelous. But the Infinity took me to, I guess and that was the CCD. That was the end. That was kind of the end of the CCD world.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, it's still. Listen,
Was it the end?
No, it's not the end. It's not going to be the end yet. But you know, there is an end in sight for CCD technology, unfortunately. Because there isn't. I mean, we're not talking within the next year or so, but probably within the next 5 to 10. CMOS is gonna catch up to the sensitivity of the CCD, and you know, I mean, ZWO and QHY and all these guys that are Altair Astro that are coming out with these wonderful CMOS cameras at a third of the price of the CCD chips.
Yeah, it's.
What's the trade-off? Is the trade-off really that much? I don't know. I mean, I got a KAF 8300.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Right, you know, that's a proper big chip.
It's a nice, it's a solid chip. It's probably one of the most widespread and mass-produced CCD chips for astrophotography, let alone anything else.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the most stable thing out there, and you know, I bought it by now my final, I think, camera is the SBIG, the STF 8300.
Oh, okay.
You know, and that's it. And I got my 6D Mark II. That's hooked up to my nice. Actually, it's not even hooked up. Actually, I'm using it right now. I have my QHY 163 color.
That's a nice. Yes, that's an interesting camera. That's probably more the SBIG and the big CAF sensor.
Yep.
I'm probably, well, not probably. I'm a bit below that in the running with more mainstream chips.
You got the CMOS Altair Astro a lot, right?
Yeah. I'm very much Altair Astro now. I've been through some CW. We'll name drop some ZWOs and stuff as we go, and some other mates. I've been mainly ZWO and now very much Altair Astro. But the affordable range, I'd like to take that step up, but I stuck with the. Well, I say that I got the after the DSLR, which I thought was a good upgrade. I then got a ZWO 071,
nice.
Which had, well, yeah, you know, which was just it was another one of those situations where if I could have started with clean decks again, I'd have started with that camera and not bothered with. Oh, obviously that sort of thing hadn't come out, but instead of the Infinity and the DSLR, wouldn't have bothered with them. I'd have gone straight for a 071. And then as it transpired, and this is leapfrogging a little bit, Dan, I know,
that's
but
okay.
we do ramble, but it's been said. Then after the 071, I went mono.
You went where?
Mono.
Mono. Oh, well. So, my camera is a mono. I did not get the color one for the SBIG. The SBIG is a mono.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Right, we're on the same page there. Refractive, same page.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Mono with the refractor.
Camera's mono. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a permanent setup. That setup does not come apart ever. Not even. I don't
Oh,
think
right.
filters. Nothing.
Really?
You know, I've gotten so. By the way, I fixed the echo. The echo wasn't you. The echo was me. I had like things going on with my headset.
I can't hear it. Right. I'm sorry, mate. Were you the only one that can hear it?
Yes. So my rig does not come apart at all. I have my SBIG, I have my filter wheel, I have my flattener, I have my spacer. Actually, I got my spacers, then my flattener, and
Sure.
I got the moonlight, the regular moonlight, not the Nightcrawler, the regular moonlight focuser with the duo controller and the rotator and the whole thing with the Esprit. So that literally comes out of my Pelican case onto my rig and goes back into the Pelican case, and that's it.
That's a beautiful thing.
That I don't mess around with the rig. I don't kind of that's gonna unless if I decide to replace the telescope eventually, then I'll still put the other telescope together and whatever, and I'll use that 80 for something else. But right now, this telescope right now, the 80, is just been so awesome, and I think I'm this close to releasing. I lost Tim again. Tim, I lost you again. So it might be me, actually. You're back. There you go. How'd you get back? How'd you get back so quick? What did you do? Did you do something? You had to go to the commode real quick? That's what we like to do. We like to have fun at these things, and it's always it's always a nice little. You never know what's going to happen on this show, we may have like some spontaneous combustion from the UK. Mark said stop streaming video games too. Let's see. Mark is asking, which scope do you have that on? I don't know if he's talking to me or you, but it was only a minute ago, so I guess I was talking about the S-Big. Oh, wow. There we go. Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sorry.
I'm on jumbo vision again. Thank you.
You're back.
Cool.
Oh God! You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. Hey, listen. Maybe one time, because I can get another person on here. Maybe we could have a third person come on.
Oh.
And maybe I know Amy. Maybe she'll like to come on.
Do you know what? I know her well enough to know we can pay her.
Well, yeah,
we can buy her.
I'm not gonna do that.
What
might come on and say hi. You never know.
Well, we can start with asking.
Yeah, we could say no problem.
Please, Amy, come on.
She does some great stuff, and I actually, you turned me on to her about, I guess, a couple of months ago, and her stuff is amazing. I mean, and she does everything. She like gets in there with. I mean, I don't do screwdrivers and stuff like that. I pay someone to do that. I don't have the patience I have neither the inclination nor the patience to do any of that stuff. And I'll be like, find me. I don't care how much it costs. Just find it.
Gotcha.
I said, this is what I want. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not a machinist. I'm lucky I could change my own tire in my car. I am not. I am very technologically. I know it's not a good thing for a person that's in this field, like kind of with the astronomy. I mean, I just bought my first digital caliper a year ago. I mean, come on.
Did you? That's interesting.
That's floating around somewhere because I never thought I needed one. Then all of a sudden I started getting into changing telescope parts out, and I'm like, oh man, what's the thread on this, and how far is this from this? And I'm like, I would call my friend Minos, and Minos, what's the size of this thread on this? Like, buy a damn caliper, will you? I'm done with you. And he's from, I mentioned it before, he's from...
he's the very
Cyprus.
clever guy.
Cyprus, the guy from Cyprus. And he's really good. But right before you got kicked off, I said, I'm this close, I think, to finally releasing my Heart Nebula picture that I've been working on since November. So I've gotten 24 or so hours of data.
That's.
So I think I'm this
a
close.
little drink to that. Well done, Dad.
So and I moved on to a second project. So I moved on to the Flaming Star.
Oh, she's moved on, right? So that's finito. Heart is finito.
Heart
your
I think
data.
is done.
Okay.
Well, it's not done, but I think I have enough data to do.
Well,
I think I have
what's
more
ever
than
done
enough
in this
data.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, 24 hours. That's a lot.
yeah.
I
So
forget that horrible. There's some horrible scaling, isn't there, between 1 hour, 3 hours for the
yeah.
signal to noise, for swamping the noise,
To actually get it to the point where you got enough signal. I mean,
where it makes a difference. So after 24 hours, what's the next step where it's going to make a significant difference? 100 hours? Is it something horrible like that?
well, I think the whole thing is that now at this point, I think I'll just add it as I want to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, and say, okay, you know what? I haven't done this in a while. Let me do it again. I still have the same scope. I'll just add some more data on it. I got an hour to kill or whatever. And, you know,
24. That's, yeah, data won't be your problem, I don't
no,
think.
data's not my problem. Yeah, it's me and the processing, which I'm not that great at. So,
Yeah, sure,
I
sure.
mean, everyone's still learning on processing. It's just a learning experience. Actually, you know what I did do is my
Mhm.
wife purchased me, and thank bless her
Always
soul,
good.
because she supports me going out to the beach at till 2 in the morning and deals with the barky dogs. So I got to throw a shout out to her. But let me tell you,
Ah,
um, where the hell was I going with this? I totally lost my train of thought. I lost what I was saying. Hi, Beatrice. Beatrice Hines says hi.
Hi, Beatrice.
Rob says bye.
Your wife had bought you something.
Oh, right. So Adam Block. Do you know who Adam Block is?
No.
So
Hi, Adam.
Adam Block, he's not on here, but he does from adamblockstudios.com or .net or something like that. If you look him up, he's got you got to pay for it, but it's a tutorial of like, I want to say about 50 videos going from
Right.
everything from blinking photos, for those of you guys who use PixInsight know what blinking
Ah,
is,
pics. Yeah.
to morphological transformation videos,
Ooh.
to RGB combination, LRGB combination. He's doing narrowband as we speak. Mark, you just
Good
said your
stuff.
processing is horrible if you use PixInsight. I mean, I thought I knew PixInsight a little bit, and the first 3 videos that I got 2 pages worth of notes. So the things that he uses and the stuff that he uses, like there's something in there called there's a hello Dan and Tim is better. There you go. Okay.
Hello.
So
Who's that?
that's Beatrice again. Beatrice.
Oh,
Says
hi, Beatrice. Hi there.
But with the processes, not the scripts, the processes. There's a process in there called no operation. And
Oh.
yeah. So everybody's like, no
What
operation.
what
the hell's
does
a no
that
operation?
do?
What does that do? It really does. Honestly, it's no operation. So it really does nothing. But what it does do is that if you go into there, it opens up a text box for all your notes that you want to type in to your process. So every time if you save your process icons, that will
Yeah.
come up, and you'll be like, oh, okay, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that.
With an associated, with a context sensitive, I used to do marketing, I still do marketing, context sensitive help dialogue.
Exactly. And you just sit there, you click on it, and if you do what I do, and then some
How
people like
beautiful.
doing this, some people don't like doing this. I save different processes and process icons, so the icons will just come up on the right side.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah, me too.
So
Me too.
yeah, so if you have a narrowband workflow or an LRGB workflow, and there are two schools of thought to that. Some people, if they really have an artist, there's maybe 100, 200, but if you have a real, I don't have an artist's mind. I am like the best cover band bass player you will ever make, because I can't really make my own stuff up.
Right, so, but you can follow. You can follow the music.
I can follow a recipe. I can follow a map. I can follow anything. Just give me something. So Tom Higgins, my cousin Tom, is online from. Where is he? He is in Oregon, if I remember right. He's
right,
hanging out.
Not been to Oregon. Not been to Oregon yet. I would like to go there. It sounds good.
Yep, go on the Oregon Trail. Check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, I want to try. Yeah, yeah, I want to ride. I used to ride horses, so I'd like to go to Oregon, do
Nice.
some horse riding, do some campfiring,
Nice. That'd be good.
do some shooting,
Yeah,
do some target shooting.
plenty of room
and,
there to do it. Oh, I'm
and
sorry, I lied. He's in South Dakota, not Oregon. Sorry.
where's that? Oh no, we don't want to go there.
South of Dakota.
Is it? Right. I bet it's beautiful.
South of North Dakota.
There's so much I haven't been to. Sorry, we digress, Dan. We digress.
Yeah, totally. But
so how did you get to mono? So you did the DSLR. I went from DSLR to the 071 due to super slick marketing about cooling, and of course then had bought the world's first astronomy fridge, hadn't I? The world's first astronomy ice maker.
Oh no, man! Let me tell you, when they came out with cool cameras and you didn't have to spend half the night taking darks, what a relief!
Well,
I could take darks in the rain. Wow,
that's right. That's interesting. Yeah, because you could do it indoors now, I guess.
Yeah, I take my telescope and I take the rig out of the Pelican box. I put it on my table in my patio. I take I'm a little weird. I take a blanket, I cover the telescope, but I leave the camera.
You're a blanketeer, yeah. There's yes, but
I'll cover up all the way up to the camera so I don't block the fans. And I won't cover the camera because you know what's the point of having a cool camera if you're gonna put a blanket on it? But you know, so you sit there and literally for like 2 weekends, I would do my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 minute darks.
Oh, you build a library. Oh, aren't you orderly?
Yep, and I do it every 3 or 4 months based on the weather change, because a lot of people don't know this. Cool, you know. A lot of people know this, a lot of people don't. But when you buy a cooled camera, it's not like, oh, you know what, I want it to negative 15 degrees Celsius all the time, and it's gonna do that. No, it does not do that. Most cameras will only cool, depending on your camera, a certain amount of degrees under the ambient temperature that you're at. So if you're sitting there and you're doing it from Vegas, and it's 90 in the summer, and it's 30 in the winter, or 40 in the winter. At 90, it's only going to get to 50, but at 40, it's going to get to 0. So, you know, so you got to take darks periodically throughout the year in order to match up for your temperature scale. Does that sound right, Tim?
That sounds right to me. And I was reading in the bath, actually. Read in the bath. There's not too much information. That the aging of the sensor, now whether this applies to CCD and to CMOS as well as CCD, but in fact the aging, so you should top up your libraries every few months due to the aging of the sensor as things change.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That too.
So I didn't know that. But
I had no idea.
So with your DSLR, you must have been so much more advanced than I, because I didn't do flats back then. I hadn't got that advanced.
Me neither.
And I'd only just started doing darks, really, because I found the whole concept of just getting the camera on the telescope and getting that, crossing that bridge. Now this calibration frame stuff was like, no, I'm not doing that. That was mind blowing for me. But yeah, somehow slick marketing. I still bought the 071. I still bought the ice maker, and I've never looked back. That's the camera that I wish. If I just had only done things once the right way, I'd have bought a dedicated, cooled, quality. I don't know what I do, depending on how deep your pockets are. Astro camera, so dedicated Astro camera, much better than fighting. I mean, there are some super experts with the DSLR, and I know that you're amongst them. I am not. I think there's so many things that you have to fight with a DSLR, perhaps. Don't know. Is that going to throw people open to another vicious debate over is the DSLR dead?
You know, there is a lot of DSLR camera users. I am no longer one of them.
No,
Not even
sad days.
with my 200L, my Canon 200L lens.
Right, right.
Now, unfortunately, my lovely 6D Mark II, which is sitting right in front of me right now as we speak, taking this video.
6D Mark II.
Yeah, that's a Canon.
That's another camera. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
nice
I didn't hear
full
it properly.
frame.
Yeah, very nice.
It's a wonderful camera, and you know, right now it's. I mean, I got plenty of lenses for it,
Mm-hmm.
but I originally bought the 200L to do astrophotography with this, and
I
then
see.
my friend at Camera Concepts has had a 163 color QHY sitting on a shelf for about 6 or 8 months, and it wasn't moving.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, you know what? Give it to me for cost. I'll take it off your hand. You'll get your money back. And you gave it to me.
That's a nice move. That's a nice, very canny move.
You know,
Mr.
and don't go calling Jeff asking for stuff at cost, please, guys. That's not going to happen. You know, if you want to ask him personally at NEEF in 2 months or a month and a half, go right ahead.
Right. I tell you what a great place to plug the 2 shows coming up.
Oh yeah, Paz,
just as you said, Neve. Yeah, Paz. I'm not getting this very. Hold it still. Right, Paz.
Yeah,
the
practical astronomy show.
There you go. Exactly. That's the 21st of March, all day, a Saturday, in Kettering in the UK. It's about a third of the way up from the bottom, in the middle of the UK. Very easy to get to. Lovely venue. Loads of vendors. And the reason for segueing into that is you mentioned that if you approach sometimes, I'm not saying this is, I'm not making a statement on behalf of manufacturers and retailers, but sometimes it shows with a little bit of cash or the right plastic, you can get some crazy things on show days.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the same as NEEF in New York, which is April 4th, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's that.
Wow! Long show.
Well, it's 4 days, but the show is only 2 days. NEEF is the Northeast Astronomer Forum, and the actual show with the vendors is only 2 days. That Saturday, that Sunday, whatever it is. The 2 days before. They have what's called NEAC, which is the Northeast Astro Imaging Conference, which I'm going to, and that's going to be interesting. I know that
fascinating.
TJ Conley's going to be there. I know that I think Trevor Jones was there last year. I don't know if he'll be there this year.
Right, Astro Backyard. That's going to be good. A
bunch of people will be there, and it's going to be interesting. It's more of a select group. It is expensive.
The elite.
Yeah. It's expensive. It's like $350 for the show, and that's not including they do nighttime workshops. That's not including those. Those you pay $75 each, on top of.
Clear skies. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. So we got a couple of comments here. Beatrice.
Hit us with the comments, please.
Yeah, Beatrice says that good that I took my tablet to watch YouTube. Otherwise, so people are watching this on. A lot of people are watching us on YouTube. More people are watching us on YouTube than Facebook. So thank you everybody in YouTube land. It looks like this new program that I'm working on is actually working. Mark Ellis is looking at us, and it says. Beatrice. I have a 6D Mark II as well and a Nikon D850 along with a bunch of other lenses, all of them for Astro. However, here in Belgium, the weather is so bad. She's in Belgium. The weather has been bad for almost 3 months, unfortunately. No clear skies.
Same. So I'm sorry to hear that. Really sorry. I'm in the UK and it's very similar weather. It's been.
Yeah, I mean, literally, that's why the Heart Nebula has been taking me since November. I looked at my first RGB data, November 1st. And
Really?
from November
That
1st
long?
to December 20, sorry, December to, what month is this? February. February 24th.
Yeah, yeah,
From
yeah,
November 1st
rapidly.
to February 24th. And I went down almost every clear night. I was outside every clear night, almost. And I only got 24 hours.
That's
In
all right. It's an incredible achievement, Dan.
November,
But
December, January, February, 4 months. That's 6 hours a month.
that sucks, man.
That's
Incredible.
horrible.
I can't take anything away from the achievement. In actual fact, it adds to the achievement that 6 hours per month. What are
Horrible.
we doing? What's happened?
We need to move to the desert.
It's got to just be a glitch, hasn't it? I can't. If this carries
I hope
on,
so. I hope so. It can't carry on. I'm hoping that even though that at least on the East Coast, we've had I don't think we had any snow, not one snow day in the Northeast and in Long Island. I'm sorry, in Long Island. Now, a lot of snow up north in New York and Maine and all that, but
sure.
as far as Long Island is concerned, I don't think we got. If anything, we got a trace, maybe. I think there was one day, and it was gone the next. I don't even remember.
Right.
However, 5 years ago. Go ahead. Sorry.
Typically, would you have got clear sky? Would you have got your snow then? But would you have got clear skies too? Because we would have got a bit of your snow. We'd have got the tail end of your snow, but we would have had night after night of. I mean, this is really making me cry. Of crystal clear skies for 12 hours of uninterrupted dark, and we haven't
awesome,
had any.
No, because we haven't had any change in the weather. It's all been crap. Sorry, no offense, everybody. It's all been garbage. I mean, it's been horrible. Got some comments are floating in here from YouTube now. My cousin Tom is saying, if it's anything like tech shows, you can get good deals near the end of an event, as the vendors don't want to schlep the gear back. That's absolutely true, Tom.
You got it. That's what we were alluding to.
And cash is king.
Yeah.
You have cash?
Yeah, absolutely. All the time that folding is,
Yeah, cash is king. So I mean, if you go to any of these
good
shows,
advice.
go there with cash. Go there with cash. You will get a better deal if you have cash. I'm not gonna say why. I don't want to get anybody in trouble online.
Could we even play the dealers off against each other and see if we could get a best price going between them?
You would be
Would
surprised.
we dare even do that?
No, you would be surprised on how much the dealers talk to each other at a show.
Well, yeah.
They don't want to get any bad blood between dealers. Believe it or not, at least most of them do.
Yeah, sure.
So they will sit there and talk, and they'll be like, "Hey, what are you selling this for?" Okay, so we don't want to undercut you, so we're going to sell for the same price. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost yes. We mustn't say it's not isn't that a cartel? Isn't it?
Yeah,
It smacks of Dallas.
Yes, but it's like it's like
common sense.
Yeah, they're all there to make business, and certain places you're going to go to for some things, certain places you're going to go to others. It's all a matter of who they go to first, pretty much.
Well, someone's quite likely the master distributor in the room. Someone's, you're buying it from one table. It's quite likely you're buying it from two tables actually, because someone's important. But yes, cash at shows, at the end of shows, absolutely sound perfect advice. Yeah, and haggling. Don't be. English people are very reserved, and they look away. To haggle.
Yeah.
Can you do it for 50 less?
Come on, 35. Beatrice says she is calibrating her laptop display right now. Okay.
Come on, Beatrice.
Oh my God, I've only some data from the Rosette Nebula from December. The forecast snow in a couple of hours. It's 0 to 50. It's 4 a.m. over there too, so it's and yes, astronomers, astrophotographers need a lot of cash. The vendors don't want to slap a lot back. People are agreeing, but they're right. A lot of people don't want to bring it back. They don't want to ship it back. So, they will.
All about the numbers.
What's that?
All about the numbers.
Yeah.
Especially at a show, I would want to hit my sales figures and do better than last year, etc. I'm sure there's I'm sure there's a 100 contrived reasons, but
Yeah.
So you're doing. So I'm doing PAS. You're doing NEAF and NEAC.
NEAC, whatever it is. So I was actually fortunate to get into it this year. I wasn't able to get to it last year. Mark Ellis is fighting with autofocus. Well,
that's what you do, though. It's never meant to be easy.
What are you fighting about, Mark? It doesn't want to turn one way. Turn it the other way. It's okay.
Enjoy that, Mark.
I mean, focusing is definitely one of the issues we all have. I mean,
I tell you what, we weren't going to ramble on, but let's ramble on a little bit further about. Well, I tell you, that's another segue. So you and I both then moved on to mono. What made you go to mono and increase your focus workload by however many filters you've just loaded around your neck?
Well, the wonderful thing about filters these days is if you spend a lot of money on them, you can get parfocal.
Are they really?
Filters.
So that's very interesting. They're close to parfocal. Okay.
I got the Astrodon Series I filters, and they're close. Even though that they are close, every time I switch a filter or go to the next one, I always have SGP do a focus routine.
Oh, of course, you've got your moonlight focuser, so you always have it do a routine. Yeah.
It's automatic. It's great. You sit there and you just watch it. And you look at it. You're like, okay, it's all right. And you look at the pictures coming. Mark says his focus keeps failing in SGP. Mark, what focuser? Because I've had issues. What's the error you're getting? It's got to be giving you an error. So if you want to tell us an error real quick, and I know that we're coming up on an hour now. I think we're at 56 minutes online right now. So we're coming up on an hour now, and we don't have a lot of time left. One shot CMOS camera from ZWO. Next cam will be a mono for sure. So
interesting, Beatrice. Which camera are you using, Beatrice? Which ZWO camera are you using now, and what mono are you looking at?
Okay, well, we'll
Beatrice,
give her a couple
4
of
a.m. Fair play.
Yeah, she's 4 a.m. She must be either getting up early, getting ready to work, or I love the fact that Primaluce. Oh, he's got the. It looks like he's got the Sesto Senso. So at least it says Primaluce Lab, so I'm assuming that's a Sesto Senso.
Could be not necessarily. They do something else, don't they? They brought another one. Right. Okay.
I forgot about that one too. And they just came out with the rotator.
And a rotator, yes, they've been advertising it. That looks very interesting.
Arc something. It's Arc Lab, or I don't know what it is. So Beatrice answered. Well, it's pretty quick. It's not that much of a lag. So Beatrice answered. Said she has the 295 MC.
Yes.
And she's looking to go 533 MC Pro.
Okay, interesting.
So that's brand new camera. No amp glow. Yay.
Yeah.
I actually have a friend who has it. He is 12 years old. He bought a Hyperstar on a 6-inch Evolution. And
is this the one you mentioned?
Yes.
You mentioned this last week, right? That's fascinating, right? Yeah. Okay. How's that working out?
He had some issues with software. All of his photos were coming in mono on SharpCap. And turns out the saturation level was just all the way down to the bottom, so he wasn't seeing any color. It was just black and white. So raised the level up.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, nice.
Because he was just doing the live stack and pulling the photo. In that you got your RGB slider, and then you have a fourth slider, and it looks like black and white. It's your saturation. So if it's all the way down, you're going to be mono for the most part. You're not really going to be mono, but it's going to look black and white. But if you start sliding that up, all of a sudden, bang,
gotcha.
You got colors.
Right, that's it. That's interesting. I'm going to try that live stack when the weather gives up. There's so many things I'm going to try when the weather lets up.
I'm sorry, I was talking a lot, Mark. And it says you have the version 2 of it. I don't know if you meant the Asado or the Sesto. So if
I
you
think
could
the
just clarify
Sesto's on version 2. Yeah, I'm a version 1
I think it
Sesto.
is too. But it keeps on saying that the focuser is lost. Have you ever had that with that? Do you use SGP? I don't even know if you use SGP.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Have you ever had
Focuser is lost. That sounds rather horrible.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
a little bit
Horrible. Focuser is lost. Got to be USB. Start with the simplest, most obvious, common sense approach. USB cable.
Yeah, yeah, that would make sense. You know, to give it a shot, and then if it's not that, then you go drivers, I guess.
Yeah, then to drivers
and ASCOM. Reload that. And then
the Sesto does have a very nice proprietary GUI for testing it and calibrating it.
Yeah, it does.
Oh right. Oh, you've seen that, right? Oh,
I have seen it. I've only seen it on a desk, not in field use.
It's all right. It's very good. And worst case scenario, I mean, this is horrible. Far be it from me for recommending lash ups, but we have to do it sometimes. At a pinch, it's usable, but it's certainly not an elegant approach. When you've got something like sequence generator pro, which should automate everything, I would expect first of all, top the list if it was working and now is a USB cable.
Yeah, and then I think that's a good point, Tim, that you brought up. So if you can't get it connected and it not found in SGP, go to the proprietary software and see if you can get connected and working through that first, and then at least you know that it's connecting, and now it's something to do with SGP, and maybe you got to go through the forums and see what's going on. It goes through the routing, tries to dial in the focus. I think it's a setting in SGP, he's saying, which is very, very possible. It's very possible. This SGP is awesome for what it does, but there's
nothing like it.
There's a lot that goes into it, though. There's all these little tweaks and everything that if you mess one little thing up or tick one checkbox.
Nothing like it on the market. Everybody migrates to it sooner or later. We all have these needs, these fundamental needs that we understand, or as we grow through astrophotography, there's things that we all need. And Sequence Generator Pro, however difficult, convoluted some of it is, it does do everything I could possibly ever want and so much more. I mean, dome control, observatory automation. Am I ever going to need that?
Yeah, soon.
Who knows? But I'd like to.
You got your Peer going, right? You got that Peer project going.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is build something around it.
Well, do you know what? What do you build around it? So when you've got where do you start there? That's one for a show actually, Dan, is your home observatory. How do you choose it? How do you choose what you build? Where do you start? Do you start with the pier, or do you start with the observatory?
Wow,
and what do you need?
That is we may have to get a third guest for that, because I am not. I set up every night. I don't have an observatory.
Right.
Hopefully, if and/or when I move to where I want to move to, maybe I will get one. But right now, New York being New York. If I actually put something in New York in my backyard I call it an observatory, and I try and call it an observatory, they want zoning, and they're going to tax me on it.
Really?
So, yeah, on Long Island they do. Yeah, but if I put a roll-off roof shed, and I call it a shed, it's a shed. There's no taxes. There's no zoning.
Yeah. I'm with you. No, I wouldn't want to fall foul of any statute, so I'm a Dudley Do Right, so yeah, I would most definitely, I would pay, or that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. Where you would like to move to, what would you put there? Have you already got something in your mind now already? Do you know you want a dome? Do you know you want a row? No dome.
Roll off.
roll-off roof, flat roll-off roof.
No, I think I probably do something like a real shed. You know, gabled roof, roll it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Here's the mistake that we're digressing. So this is one for.
This is why we run 2.5 hours instead of.
Well, we won't. I've got a shed with a pitched roof, great big batwing thing, and it was so heavy it was 2 people to open
really?
it, and I can't.
Oh, well, that's something to think about.
You can't be. I don't have the comfort of having some sons. I can wake up at 2 a.m. to go, come and help me open the observatory, which would be brilliant.
Or be on Facebook Live at 2 a.m.
Well, do you know what? This is. If I could wake someone up to help me, I'd have kept that design. But I redesigned the shed, and it leaks ever since. So I'm having to redo it again. In a non-leak worthy design, which I think I've cracked it this time. But so it's definitely worth a show for the. Is there a significant advantage having a home observatory? Yes, there is. So how come then, Daniel Higgins, that even with the luxury of that, my images still, there's people with tripods and trackers. There's people with those Fornax clockwork wind-up trackers and an old beat-up, unmodified DSLR getting better pictures than I am with the luxury of a leaky shed.
I've seen some of your pictures. They're good. they're very good.
Yeah, that's extremely kind of you, and that's gracious of you. But I think we know where I am in the fumble finger pecking order.
You know, we're all there. We all get there. I mean, it's we have nights just like anybody else that software doesn't work, hardware doesn't work. You forget to turn on a USB port. You forget to turn this on. You start imaging. You're wondering why your guiding's all screwed up, and you found out, oh yeah, I forgot to level the scope. Okay, well there you go. Or I didn't balance it right, or whatever. You know, we all have this. I mean, I got all my stuff together. I took my 18-inch Obsession out for a visual thing.
Did you? When
not
recently?
recently?
Yeah.
Not recently.
Oh, okay.
But it was a couple of months ago. You know, but I packed everything and I go out, drive about 45 minutes to an hour, and I get there, and I forgot the tubes. I forgot the tubes.
What that made the
the tubes.
Make the telescope.
So I'm like, oh, well, you know, I guess you know, one time I forgot my counterweights for my EQ. I mean, you know, it happens. It happens.
Oh, that's horrible to drive.
Beatrice has a question.
Hit us.
About off-axis guiding. She wants to know.
I've got one.
I've never heard of this before, but
okay.
Maybe you have. Is it true that it's best to only use it with telescopes greater than 1,000 millimeters in focal length? Because I always thought that it can go with any scope.
Right. No, I don't think that is true. I think it can go with any scope, and I used an off-axis. I can't say off-axis guider first go. I'm sure you lot can, but I can't. So I've achieved that. That's a big thing for me. My off-axis guider I used on a red cat, which is definitely not 1,000 millimeters focal length, and it worked beautifully on that. Yeah, exactly. It's the same focal length as a guide scope. And it worked beautifully. And the reason for needing that is I didn't have the right adapters to get back focus to my one-shot color, but the off-axis guider had just the right. I wasn't going to use an off-axis guider, but it had the right threads and the right distance, the right thickness, and so I did use it, and I thought it was ever such jolly fun to be using a red cat with an off-axis guider. So yeah, that worked perfectly for me. The only reason I moved away from it is fiddling around. It was not a particularly great quality. It was budget stuff again, which is my downfall. Buying budget and then fiddling around and not getting great results. So this particular one, my fiddling meant I didn't get great results, and I moved back to SSG. What does SSG stand for, by the way? Before I Google it,
SSG, isn't that Starship Guider?
Isn't that for the other type of guide? Oh, is that what it is? Right. Because obviously OAG is off-axis guider.
I think it's SSAG is a Starship Auto Guider.
Right. Oh, okay. So is there an acronym for the normal? There's a guide scope. Got one there.
Right.
Got one there. So what's the name for one of those?
A guide scope.
Is there an acronym? Right. Just guide scope. Oh, fair enough. So I don't believe that's true.
There's an acronym for everything, so who knows?
There must be. No, I don't believe that's true, and I've used my off-axis guider on little tiny scopes, and it's really cool and clever. If you've got the fiddly skills to set it up nicely, then they're a winner. They're absolutely brilliantly clever thing. So good luck with that. Let us know. Let us know how you get on.
Yeah,
please.
Actually, I used one as well when I went all crazy. I went S-Big crazy, and so I bought the S-Big with the off-axis guider from S-Big, with the filter wheel from S-Big, and I got some really good results with that, and no issues. Again, I think the same thing that I had the same issue as you. I actually had to go away from the off-axis guider because once I put the flattener on, I couldn't get focus anymore. So I actually had to get closer. So I had to take
you have to take things out. Right. Yeah.
It's actually if anyone wants to buy it, it's on sale on Camera Concepts for I think $500. But it's such a specialized thing for one model camera. It's never going to go anywhere. So I may have to just cut my losses on that one. But
that's often the way with Astro Kit, isn't it? And I was rabbiting on in episode 1 about if only I could start again, how much money I would save. But the experience is priceless. There is no you got to do your own sit-ups in astrophotography, I suppose. But it's expensive. Expensive mistakes.
What was it? It's like what was that? There's a I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll screw it up. It's meme or meme or whatever it is. Those little pictures.
Oh yeah.
That's what it says. There's a father and his son pointing to the sky and looking at that, and through a telescope. He says, "Get your kids into astronomy or astrophotography. They'll never have the money for drugs or alcohol." It's a good little picture. What else you got?
Yeah, I know that one. It's pretty funny, isn't it? It's true. Yeah, the truth. Yeah.
What is it? What was it? I'm gonna pull out my Robert De Niro and we laugh for 2 reasons. We laugh because it's funny, and we laugh because it's true. And he said that right before he beat somebody over.
That's pretty good. I thought it was Bob. It's Bob in your Bob come to visit you.
You talking to me?
Well, you have to be able to do that. From where you were born, you have to have a convincing.
Well, no, the best one was Goodfellas. No, Karen, right there. Go right in there. The dresses are right there. Sorry, Jimmy, I gotta go. Beatrice says thank you so much. Beatrice also says, Tim, your pictures are beautiful. Stop it. She didn't say stop it.
Bless your heart.
I'll say stop it. She also said, I'll let you know about my off-axis guider when we have clear skies.
Yeah,
Beatrice puts a couple of big smiles on there. And my cousin Tom says, I make you laugh. Okay. But, talked about a lot. Go ahead.
What's your favourite camera, Dan? So I guess we're going to wrap in a little bit. So what do you have a favourite camera so far? That's right. Is there such a
I
thing?
love my S-Big right now. I mean, that is the best and unfortunately the most expensive camera that I bought. I think retail cost right now is $23.95 for that camera.
Okay,
And,
so that's a fair amount, but that's not ridiculous.
no, it's not ridiculous, but it was, that is the most money that I've spent on a camera. And I've been getting some outstanding results. But then when you add in filter wheel, I have the FW7, so 7 filters of different types.
The hidden, well, it's not really the hidden cost of mono, isn't it? The obvious, the blimmin' obvious cost of mono, the filter wheel,
so
and the filters. Oh, here you go. I've got a prop. So you got a 7-position wheel.
Yes,
that's a lot of positions.
It is.
That's all the positions, Governor. Right there.
All we need is 7 positions.
Isn't it? But well, I tell you what have you given up there? Isn't there hydrogen alpha, hydrogen beta? Do you have a hydrogen
I don't
beta?
Have a beta.
Filter?
No, I don't.
I don't have it. Oh, it's beta. What am I talking about? It's a much better way of pronouncing it. Hydrogen beta filter. I don't have a hydrogen beta, I must admit. But I do
have a hydrogen beta filter from Lumicon.
Oh, do you?
It's a 2-inch though. It's not a 36 millimeter. So I can't. The only way I'd be able to fit it is to mess around with my rig, which I'm not going to do. But go ahead. You said you got a prop for us.
Got a prop. So here's an interesting comparison. That's right. That's a 1.25 filter wheel.
Yep.
5 position. And this is the problem that you'll get then. So you then go to 2-inch filters. Right, and
that's a 2-inch,
and that's what happens to the end of your telescope.
Put it in front of your face.
It's is that better? That's better.
There you go.
So
you almost look like Bernie Sanders for a second.
I need. Do you know what? I need. There's been a lot going on. I need to follow it more closely. I need to catch up on a bit of Tucker Carlson. I think that's normally the fastest way to catch up.
Everything's a mess.
Shouting at.
No. Let me tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Shout that for an hour. But does everybody? Do you believe everybody shouts if you watch that channel? So yeah, 1.25-inch filters, ever so usable and affordable, and as long as your rig and your sensor diddly-do size footprint, forgot the name of it now, as long as your image circle, there you go, we got there, 1.25-inch filters, there's a lot to be said for them. Okay, so that's very usable. That is horrible to have stuck on the back of your telescope. I don't know. Yeah, isn't it? So when this arrived, and there's only 5 positions. So when this arrived, and I just thought, oh dear. And my other great pet, that's actually a filter in there. This is off to be cleaned because in their great wisdom and this great cost of this Starlight Express filter wheel, they don't even give you any plugs or caps with it. They give you a nice case, but they don't even give you any plugs or caps. So this thing is just a magnet for every bit of hair and skin. So I'll pop him back in. But I just thought that would be an interesting. We haven't had any props tonight, so there's a prop. Do you really know what you're getting yourself into with filters? Do you really want to go 2 inches? Do you need to? Do you want the cost? Do you want the weight?
My filter wheel is probably about that big, about the size of an old. This is. For those of you guys who don't know what this is,
I know what that is.
Because I know a lot of people don't know what these are.
Is that a gentleman's film, Daniel?
No, it's not. It's not. It's actually, my mother bought this film. It's called Homeland, with English subtitles. It's about I think it's a Polish immigrant or I don't know what the hell it is.
Okay.
Little girl on it. I don't know. But I've had this for about 8 years. But it's about.
Are you going to watch it? Are you going to watch it?
I don't have a VHS player.
No. Oh, right. Yeah. No. True.
There you go.
True.
Yeah.
Got you.
First bootleg Star Wars, 1980. We got this tape.
How about that? That was Tell you what, that was gold dust.
This is number 101. First videotape I ever had.
Oh,
35
good
years
for
ago.
you for keeping that.
Yeah, I kept it. My dad had all these, like, he had like 300 of these tapes all over the place, animal all over the place. So I found that one, and I got some other. Anyway, I'm going all over the place. Tom Higgins says very nice. Beatrice says wow. Beatrice has an STC Astro multi-spectra filter with H beta O3 H alpha.
Nice one,
But
Beatrice. Good idea.
again, I can only test it when the skies are clear. Well, hopefully in a couple of days or so you'll get some. She also wants to go mono with filters. I want to create pictures in Hubble Palette. Hubble Palette's interesting, and that's what I did my Heart Nebula in. It's
Is that what you're processing it up in? Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
Very,
Well,
yeah.
you know, it's the
We
easiest thing
like
to
the
do in my
Hubble palette.
backyard. No, I really, you know what? I honestly, I'm not a fan of the Hubble palette.
Are you not?
No, I'm not a fan of
That's
it.
a
And
debate.
you know, it's
Okay.
like,
Why not?
so I'm gonna get beat up for this. It's fake. It's a fake
Which
color.
very much so. Yeah, yes.
It's a fake color, and everyone could say it's more scientifically accurate and all that kind of stuff, and it is, but it's not how our eyes would interpret it had we seen it
Not even close to it,
in
is
real
it?
life. Not even close. So the Heart Nebula would normally look of a reddish color.
Yes.
You do Hubble palette, you got this nice gold rim with the blue
Gold,
interior,
blue.
and it's nice, but it looks like a cartoon to me. But
Yeah.
you know what? In living in a Bortle 8 area as I do, you're really not
Mm.
gonna get good signal very quickly doing
Yeah.
anything else but Hubble palette stuff and narrowband stuff. And there are different
Yeah.
variations of Hubble palette. There's like what the HON and whatever it is. I'm sorry, HOS.
Oh, HOO and SHO.
HOO, yeah, all that kind of stuff is going on.
Yes.
They're just all it is taking one filter and putting it in blue instead of green. And they're just
Well,
changing.
have you had? I had a good. Someone actually. I thought this was really funny. I had a go at the Wizard Nebula, and
Sure.
that was great fun. And collaborated with Amy Little on that. That was great. That was a real baptism on filters, combining. I had 2 scopes running 12 filters, and Amy was running 7 filters as well. So.
Wow.
19 filters to stack. Oh, it was horrible. Real, not a nightmare actually. It was quite good fun once we got our head around the data.
Sure.
So yeah, as far as mono goes, so with 19 filters to stack and combine.
Wow.
It was great fun. But while I was learning about the narrowbandy side of things, the different ways to combine it, I was just trying every different channel, and I came up with one that was sort of pink, and I just liked it. And someone nicknamed it, said it looked like a pork chop, and I thought, great, that's taken me about a month. The pork chop.
And now you got a pork chop nebula.
yeah. But as far as the Hubble palette being, it's got to be a certain way. I mean, maybe there's a format where the saturation of each of the levels has got to be, because I just, my version of the Hubble palette is just to jump on it and start,
Sure.
Quite harshly levering saturation up and down.
Take that one and just go.
Well, literally until it went the right color. So is there a regulation format for the Hubble palette?
I mean, I think just no matter whether you do Hubble, LRGB, CLS RGB, just flat out RGB or GGB, whatever thing you decide to do. Bottom line is, and I know I'm going to be talking out both sides of my mouth here because I always, like you, am looking for a standard workflow for everything, and it never works out that way. But it's all what you consider to be done, and it's all about what you consider to be looking good. And it's not about what anybody else thinks. It's not about that. It's about what you think, and are you happy with it? And that's the really important thing.
if I was thinking earlier about when we were talking about, I totally agree with that. It's what you think is good, and I actually prefer. I don't know about you. I other people's pictures I have the utmost respect for. Mine, I seem to go through this thing with processing of getting to a stage where it's going good, and then it sort of nosedives. Yeah, exactly. And black and white monochrome seems to be, as soon as I start adding colour and richening it up, that's where my images seem to lose it or go fuzzy or just horrible. A nice monochrome. So this may be in the monochrome colour debate. A nice monochrome picture, I probably for my own pictures, I find more appealing, more detailed, more something that I want to get in there and look over a lot more. By the time I've plastered it in colour, I'll be dreadful as a woman. My skills with makeup would be I could just get something with a tin and a template.
Nice. It is. It does get incrementally harder once you start adding more different wavelengths into your photo. It definitely gets a lot harder. I love my H alpha horsehead, and that's only 4 hours. And
sure.
I love it.
Is it colorized yet, or is it still in?
No, I don't even have any. I don't have. All I have is H alpha, and that's it. So I don't have any.
Gotcha.
Could I throw it into a red channel? Yeah, I probably could. I just
it loses the purity. Yeah, the purity of a grayscale, especially the world's favorite filter, hydrogen alpha. So yeah, knowing what we know now. Well, in actual fact, that's one to bat back into it. I haven't used my quad band filter properly yet.
Oh wow!
And I've got very high hopes of the quad band filter. I've seen other people's output using tri-bands and quad bands, and I want to join. I want to be in that gang. So I've got a quad band because there's not much light pollution here. But that's the only reason. It's not because I don't think there's any advantage between a quad band and a tri-band from what I've been reading and told. There's no, one isn't, but one is more suited to, the quad is more suited to dark skies. The tri-band has better light pollution suppression from what I can read and gather.
Okay. Well, it's just a matter of trying it out and see what's up, because you're in a light polluted area like me, so.
Right. Where I am, there's very little light pollution, so I've gone for the quad. So I'm quite blessed here. I'm limited with certain angles, but then blessed with quite dark at the zenith. So you take what you got. I can't get near Orion, so I've had to let certain things go. But the north view, I've never had an uninterrupted north, so this is a new adventure for me here.
So we got a couple of comments here. Tarek joined us.
Hey Tarek.
First, Beatrice says processing is the hardest part of astrophotography. Knowing when to stop is difficult.
Yeah.
Tarek says, I feel I should give up astrophotography when you both are talking. I guess that means that he either really likes us and doesn't pay attention, or that we're turning him off from astrophotography because of the way that we're talking. I'm not really quite sure. But
can we have your stuff, Derek?
Yeah, we
split your stuff between us.
We need some clarification on that statement, Tarek. Should we throw in the towel, or should we keep doing this? But I mean, I love getting all the comments. This new program I got, all the comments come up right in front of me. It's great. I don't have to go over here anymore.
Oh, this is a huge advancement.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? What do you think? Should we wrap tonight?
I think we're good. I think we're okay. Unless if anybody else has anything to say, I don't think there's much left to talk about there tonight, I guess. What do you think? You done? You ready to go to bed?
I reckon we could throw our weight into observatories next week.
Okay. Well,
first he's going feral.
That is definitely. Tarek says Just keep joining. Keep going. I'm enjoying it, he said. All right.
I
So,
dread to think what the time is. Oh, it must be
right.
morning. He's having his breakfast. It's
Yeah,
breakfast
yeah.
time.
Yeah, now you know it's what 3:30, 3:35.
3:30 here. It must be sunrise in the Middle East.
Well, the only thing that's good about this is that I get to go to bed at a normal hour. I feel bad for you sometimes.
I get to. Do you know what? It's going to be about 4 a.m. So I get to finish this up and then go and do the washing up.
Oh, jeez. Tarek said, "Please tell me what was the topic. What was the topic today?" We went
Topic
around.
today was a very loose camera end of things. What was our first camera? And Daniel had started with film, with actually exposing whatever it was on film. I can't remember what it was now. This is my memory's really going. So what were we even exposing on the film? Can't
I did
remember
the
what the
moon,
coating
and
was.
I got nothing.
Right, the moon.
The moon, and I got nothing because I didn't know how to focus.
Right, I never tried. I had film cameras, and I never tried anything on the sky.
Oh, it was dreadful. It was dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
The worst part was waiting that week and a half to develop the film.
Mm.
That was
I wonder if someone physically was developing it, wondering what on earth you were doing.
I am sure I got that reaction. I think maybe I saw one with an out of focus crater. Maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Nice face. What is going on?
Is he mad?
Peter
Is he
started
mad?
with a EOS 750D. 750.
Oh, that's luxury, Beatrice. That's absolutely luxury.
I was like, that's digital, man. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's digital, and that's what I would imagine, Beatrice, that had some kind of fitting, a great big camera like
I
that.
said it was a T3, maybe? Is that was it? T3,
Oh, I've got a T3i, the Rebel.
T3. Yeah, the Rebel. Yeah, I think that's.
Rebel.
I think they were either the 650 or the 750. I don't remember.
600D in the UK.
Was it 600?
600, yeah. So it's not even. It's very down.
Ooh.
It's a down level.
Tarek wants to talk about planetary imaging next time.
Planetary imaging. One of the cameras I skipped over to Tarek was the ZWO 224, and I didn't use it enough. It's become my all sky camera because the 224 comes with a little CCTV lens, which most people pass over. Yep. But that little CCTV lens is great fun, actually. If you've got any ZWO or Altair camera and you've got a CCTV lens with it and you haven't tried it out, try it out. It's really good fun. So my planetary cam has been laid over to running an all-sky cam. So, yeah, we will do one on planets. I used to do planets, and actually tonight, even though it's very misty and hazy while I'm bedding this new EQ8 mountain, I had a little look on the screen at Venus and Uranus tonight, and I haven't done that for years. So that was actually quite a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I got the planetary rig that I'm working on with the 127 Mac with the I'm throwing. I didn't get the 224. I got the 290.
Yes.
So,
yes, which is
we'll see.
Which is better.
The
224 was one of the first good dedicated little planetary cameras to come, a little uncooled, little tiny game changer, and it wasn't that expensive, so it really had its place. It's been superseded now by many things.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. But it's still one of the best planetary cameras out there, I think, as far as, if you can get it. It's a decent camera. 290 is not bad. Not as good as the 224, I heard.
Is it not? Right, okay, interesting.
I've read both. Some love the 290, some love the 224.
224 isn't very high resolution. It's only 1200 or something.
I thought that
not
the
huge
290
resolution.
shoots faster too. I thought it does 60 frames a second. I think the 224 only does 30.
Did anybody ever get that frame? I don't think I ever got close to that kind of the
frame rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I mean, like I said, I just I've had that issue with the StellarMate, so.
Yes, that nasty issue. And we're waiting for the Pro, of course, because of the awful situation.
it's coming, but I got the PC stick instead. So now I dumped
Right.
everything.
Oh, of course. Yes, you got your solution. Yeah.
So now I'm able to use that with, and you know what? It makes no sense right now because what am I gonna do? Change the computer for every time, whether I want to do planetary or wide field? No. So I just set up SGP with 2 different profiles, and I got
Yeah.
one with the 290 and one with the QHY 163, and done with
There
it.
you go. There you go.
I'm sorry. He said, Tarek says, not camera, please. Please talk about planetary telescopes. Please forget about cameras.
Oh, telescopes, that'd be for another time.
Yeah, I already have 4 cameras. Even the 5th is damaged, which my first camera is damaged, my 120 MC.
Oh, dear.
I asked Google, and the 750D is the T6i.
T6, right.
T6i.
But that's much better than mine.
Yeah, I had a T3i for the longest time.
Okay.
Got some really good results out of it before I went CCD.
Yeah.
That was when I was on Aiden Schmidt. So the dreadful.
Yeah, well,
Schmidt.
We'll definitely talk about planetary telescopes in a maybe 2 or 3 from now, mate, because I don't think I can afford it yet, but I'd like to get another planetary scope, but I've missed the season, so it'd be nice to throw that one open to discussion about what choices there are and whether there's actually, we'll find out whether there's a refractor we can throw into the mix, because I don't think there is an affordable planetary. I've got my own thoughts on what we might think about, but hey, well, we'll pick that one up for an episode or 2 ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I would love to pull the trigger on that 180 Skywatcher SkyMax.
Yeah.
750 millimeter focal length.
Yeah.
It's this big.
Yeah.
That would be awesome for planetary, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, without going crazy Schmitz. But anyway, it's 11:15.
All right.
Beatrice had one last question. What is a good planetary scope? To me,
a good planetary scope. Yes, Dan, you go ahead.
Go. I talked enough. Go.
A good planetary scope would have a long focal length, good color correction without smearing, a very steady focuser without slip and slop. What else would it have? Does it need to? What does it need? It's a very none of this mirror malarkey. Although, I don't know. Things have improved there, hasn't it? So long focal length, the rigidity of all telescopes, but long focal length and good color correction is what I would want on my planetary scope.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends if you do them visual or photography. I would think.
Do you know what? Sorry, I always think of things in terms of
photography. Yeah, me
photography.
Too. But when I'm sitting there and I'm looking at, if I'm going to look at the scope that I can get the best for the cheapest I can to see the 4 or 5 planets that I can actually see some detail on, because you really, if you think about it, and I use this for those of you guys that play golf out there. That's what I want, Beatrice. That's it. The Skywatcher SkyMax 180. See, she just said so.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
But for cheap, the Skywatcher SkyMax is $1,200.
That's the poor man's C14 of planetary.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. But if you want the cheapest and way to see planets, get the biggest knob you could get your hands on, because it's going to be the cheapest. Okay, if you're going cheap. Okay, if you're not going cheap and the next step up would be some sort of Mac, I would think, at that point.
If we're being a little bit budget conscious, but we know we've got to spend money, then what are we looking at? A 5 class mount and the 180 Maksutov.
Yep.
I think that's what we would like. Otherwise, we're
long focal length on that, and this tiny thing, and almost no central obstruction. It's like this big.
Yeah. Yeah. The size of a dime in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tiny.
it's very small. I don't know, maybe it's a quarter, but it's small. It's very small. But I mean, I was looking at it the other day. I was like, wow. I said, wish I had $1,200. I'd pick it up. But you know.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. So playing up from there, we've got to save this one for another time because it'd be really interesting. So any of the C class scopes, I know we all know what we mean there. That our budget allows. Eight is nice. 9 1/4, obviously, but C14. We all know that's where it's at. So C14 level, isn't it? But then you've got to mount it. Can you put a C14 on a 6 class mount? I wouldn't have thought so.
A little heavy.
Little heavy.
A little heavy. You're pushing it there. You ain't gonna put anything on there. But you know, definitely if you're sitting there and you have an 8, you know, EQ8R, or you know, you got something that can handle 75 pounds, put that, you know, you gotta have a what is it, the CGM Pro? No, CGE Pro?
I don't know the Celestron one. Yeah, exactly. Yes, the big Celestron mount will easily hold it. Yeah.
And then you can get the CGXL or the CGX will hold it. But focal length is king for planetary. You needed to bring it out. And just one last thing I'll say, and I may turn some people off, and then we'll say goodnight because it is getting late. For any of you guys who play golf out there, you guys will get this. For you guys that don't play golf, you will not get this. Okay? You have a driver. Everyone goes to the driving range. They use that driver. They constantly use that driver. Why do you use your driver? I don't know. How many times in a game of golf do you use your driver? And they say, I don't know. Maybe about 10 times a game. How many strokes do you take? About 100. Okay, so 10% of your time you use your driver. Fine. Think about it this way. You're going to buy a C14 and to see 3, 4, or 5 things if you're just buying it for planetary.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I see. Yes, you know yes. I see the analogy. Yeah.
Why spend all that money on a driver if you're only using it 10 times? Why spend all that money on a telescope that's going to cost you $4,000 and you're only using
that's
5
a big
things?
That's a very expensive sledgehammer, isn't it? That's a very expensive. A
lot of people love planetary. Planetary is great.
Do you know what? I think that's because in some respects they fear. Maybe I'm talking out of my shoe. But like, maybe there are people like me at first who fear that they can't ever do this thing, that all they can do is the planetary stuff, bright stuff, because DSO is just too difficult. You know, calibration frames, 5-minute exposures, auto guiding.
Well, that's all this horrible, about it.
All this horrible stuff that we go on about. You don't have. Is planetary easier? I think I think in some respects it seems simpler. Seems simpler.
I always found it harder. I found it
harder. Right.
Interesting. You know, the planetary and the moon, it's harder than deep space to me. I don't know.
Getting a good moon. Getting a proper moon where it isn't all blown out across the edge of it. Yeah. Getting the Terminator right, getting the limb right, so that isn't all blown out. So you can see getting the mountains on the edge. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, definitely. And obviously things like Jupiter rotates so far. So, you know, if you want to get a couple of hours on Jupiter, it's going to smear, isn't it? It rotates so fast. It seems simple, but it's not. I think the reason that I moved away from planets was simply that DSOs became so compelling. Once I started getting that fluffy gas in pictures, because DSOs are invisible for the most part, and it's not until it's like magic. It's magic ink, and you're sort of wafting this thing around, and you can see it now. and the magic writings coming
Sure,
through. So
absolutely.
that was a bit of the mystery for me. DSOs, for the most part, the Heart Nebula particularly, it's invisible until you process it. Can't see anything.
So Tarek actually said, visual, the Mac is amazing. Really, I can't stop looking through it. But for imaging, planets, nah. Okay.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got a nice 9 1/4 Schmidt. You know, with the Edge HD with no mirror flop, knock yourself out. But
Yeah.
you know, you got to
Interesting.
get the Edge if you're gonna do Schmidt imaging, I would think. But whatever.
It has certain features that we like.
He hates it for
We
planetary.
don't want a nasty case of the shifts, do we?
No, exactly.
You don't want to find yourself halfway through an imaging session and in dire need of getting the shifts.
Yeah, exactly. Beatrice
Or the
finds
flop.
planetary harder than DSOs as well.
Oh.
And yes, she also finds DSOs magic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It is. It is.
That being said, I think we should let Tim go to bed. Or
Go
take a shower.
to the chores or something.
You know?
Well, it's still raining here, you know. I can't even do any imaging.
My cousin Tom says for a future episode, we have to title it Beetlejuice WTF. so yeah. Now,
Oh, isn't it getting brighter?
It's getting brighter. It's getting brighter.
Yeah.
It's gone through its
Fluff.
you know, another different cycle of being of the weird variable star that it is. Oh, look at that. Congratulations. You received 100 messages today with Restream Chat.
Wow.
So we got 100 messages today.
We're breaking records.
Rock and roll. So we're going to say goodnight now. We're about 45 minutes past our bedtime. And thank you everybody else for watching. Thank you for you guys supporting us. It's gonna be every Wednesday. We're gonna do it until you guys tell us not to do it anymore. So
Sure. Yeah, until it blows.
What Beatrice wants to know what she wins. You know what you can win, Beatrice? You can actually go to Backyard Astro Imaging Club on Facebook and enter the raffle for the filter, the quad band, right?
Be quick.
Quad
Yes.
band filter. Quad
Yes.
band filter. It's this Saturday. The raffle.
Tri-band filter. Tri-band filter. Tri-band filter.
This Saturday, Tim's going to be doing it live. He's going to go on Facebook, and he's going to pull the winning person. It's $1.
$1 to enter for a $200 filter.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. Rock and roll. So, and he'll ship it anywhere in the world. So he'll ship it anywhere in the world.
Yeah, we can go. Where are we going? Belgium.
Yeah,
we can throw it.
There
we can frisbee it.
Yeah, you can go take a drive.
Do you know what? One of my favourite drives was coming back from Belgium in a BMW M5, and
Wow.
yeah. I drove
That's
that
nice.
baby.
Nice.
Well, Belgium's got nice roads. Belgium had money to spend at the time, and it had really nice roads. So
yeah, Beatrice
I
said
like
you can
Belgium.
frisbee it to her.
we'll do. We'll get your dollar in, Beatrice.
All right, guys.
How many euros? 70 euros.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's knock it off, and we'll see everybody next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and for now, we're going to say goodnight.
Good night. Thanks, everyone.
And we will talk to everybody next Wednesday. Tim, I will see you later. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Dan. Nice to see you, man.
All right, buddy. Catch you later.
Bye for now. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.